President Biden today announcing the U.S. will be sending 31 M1 Abrams tanks to the Ukrainians. Those are pretty beefy. This is after months of claiming the tanks were too complicated for the simple and dirty Ukrainian forces. The reversal allegedly due to Germany forcing our hand by making a similar decision yesterday. But both former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and current National Security Advisor spokesperson John Kirby praised the move. Watch.
Look, I think this is the right decision. I also think it's too late. But I suppose better now than never. But we should have done this a while back. We should have been providing the Ukrainians with the tools that they needed and could use. We do have to make sure we get them the right training. This is a beast. The M1 tank is an incredibly powerful piece of equipment. So are the Leopard, and they talked about UK's Challenger tank as well. These are three world-class armaments. We need to make sure they have these tools. The only way to bring this to an end is to convince Putin that the cost is too high.
This was really about two things. One, being able to maintain unity in the alliance and partners and the partners that we have in providing support to Ukraine, and making sure, number two, that we are getting ahead of the fight. We have been providing capabilities that have changed over the last 11 months. This is another example of kind of a sophisticated armor capability that we think the Ukrainians need for the coming months.
Like one thing Democrats and Republicans can agree on is spending money on foreign fights. But will these tanks be a game changer on the battlefield, or will they just extend the war for another 20 years? Joining me now to discuss, former Navy SEAL, former FBI Special Agent Jonathan Gilliam is here. Welcome to the show, Grim.
Good to be with you, Kennedy. And, you know, it's interesting, your last segment, and you guys were talking about the insider trading that's going on in Congress. I want you to think about something. All those people who are trying to come up with names to name a bill to stop insider trading that they're doing, along with this president who coddles a crackhead son and leaves classified documents in his garage unsecured, those are the people that are supposedly telling us how we should fight a war in Ukraine against a megalomaniac named Putin, and that they're going to send billions of dollars worth of equipment and money that's not being checked. Those are the same people making those decisions. That should cause people pause right there.
Well, it's billions more because we've already spent, $60 billion funding this war, when we don't talk about an exit strategy. We don't talk about what victory looks like for the U.S. or Ukraine. We don't talk about how to end it quickly and how to preserve life. Those seem like pretty rational discussions for any administration to have. I just hear a bunch of war wacky people really excited to send lots and lots of stuff over that, you've made the point, maybe they don't know how to use it. And those 30 tanks, all of them won't get sent and they won't be used properly.
Well, those tanks are probably not even going to get there this year, and potentially not even 2 years down the road. I think what people also need to realize about these tanks is that they work in a system that's 360 degrees and up and down. So they work with air assets, with ground assets. And if they're not working in that system, then they are just big moving guns with some technology. But along with that, they have to be able to maintain those vehicles. They're very expensive and hard to maintain. They have to be able to drive them and tactically use them. And that's not something that's going to happen if we just send tanks over there. And so you're kind of removing this system, and you're also removing the ability to use these things effectively. And I agree with Pompeo, this is way too late, but the reality is even Pompeo kind of missed the mark. It should have been there before anything even started. We could have stopped this before it started. And now, to your words, this seems like a never-ending war. And they are just like the Democrats. They say, Trump is a criminal. And then all of a sudden, there's cop lights and there's DOD lawyers and a search warrant in Mar-a-Lago for the same thing that the Democrats do. And I think that's what's happening here. They project what they want to happen, and then when it happens, it gives them another reason to send more money, more equipment, and prolong this war even more. Somebody's getting paid out of this, and somebody's making something out of this, and it's certainly not Ukraine or Russia because they're kind of in a standoff.
All right, so who benefits from this? I mean, who benefits? Because it seems from the outside looking in, certainly from a civilian's perspective, it seems like a really bad idea. You know, it's like Russia has bombed the living crap out of Ukraine. It's harder and harder for people to move back to the cities and towns they're from. So what's a better way for the U.S. to be handling this from your perspective?
Well, first of all, we shouldn't be getting into wars that are this isn't even a proxy war, really. This is, I'm not exactly sure what this is. This is kind of a stalemate, and they just keep it there. We should be smarter than to get into these types of things. However, the reason why we got into it and the reason why it's being prolonged and who's benefiting from this, you know, the old saying, you just follow the money. Who's making money out of this? You know, a lot of these vehicles that we've sent over there already, the troop carriers, armored troop carriers, those are coming from our inventory, and then the military industrial machine is going to replenish those. So somewhere along the way, constituents, big businesses are making money, and then that feeds back into the politicians. We either need to be in the game of fighting wars to stop the prolonging of these wars, or we need to step back and say who's profiting from this. And I think that really is the answer to your question is politicians and big business profit from war.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a horrible gambit, and people are over it. And, you know, young men and women should not be paying with their lives, American men American men and women who are service members, but also innocent Ukrainians. They're getting caught up in this horrific stalemate, and we don't have the leadership and the diplomacy to end it. God help us all. Jonathan, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you, Kennedy.
Thank you.